I couldn't agree more. As soon as I came across the Black Cow on Facebook, same thing. I was really excited that we were getting a locally owned place and not another kind of commercial establishment. And right away, I loved the name. I loved the vibes of the place, and I started coming here and writing. I would come in and grab a cup of coffee and sit down and work on whatever book I was writing. And like Dennis said, we've gotten to know each other over the last however many months, and I feel very at home here. I feel very relaxed here. That's why I like to come and write here. And I want to thank all of you guys for coming out today. I really appreciate it. I know we started a little bit late, but we're artists, so that kind of happens. But kind of what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you guys a little bit of my background and my partner's background, my writing partner and business partner. Her name is Stephanie Nguyen, and we've been friends for 12 years, 13 years. It started shortly after my husband and I got married. They had known each other for a long time, and that's how I got to meet Steph. And again, kind of another one of those really fast friends. We really clicked together, and it just kind of went from there. And as far as the writing goes, I've always loved writing. I consider myself to be very blessed to have the ability to express myself through storytelling, and it is absolutely my passion. It has always been, and I feel like I'm the luckiest guy in the world because now that's what I get to do for my job. So I couldn't be happier. So back in 2015, we were sitting around on a Friday night, and we were playing cards because that's how cool we were. I think I was 21, and I started talking to Stephanie about how I just really wanted to write a book. And she has experience writing. She was a copywriter for a long time, and even at the time we were talking, she was a content writer for several online publications and a couple magazines, so she knows her stuff. And I said, I really want to write a book, and we kind of started talking about what it would be about, and the most important thing to me was that it featured a gay main character. Because when I was growing up, that was something that I was missing. Being a huge nerd and having an obsession with literature, I was consuming books like crazy. I would read a novel in 2 days. But not being able to see myself or have any really books that featured gay characters that wasn't smut, and that was something that I was really missing. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to write a book that a teenager or a young adult could see themselves in and connect with. And so that's kind of how it started, and she was like, that sounds awesome. I think that's a great idea, let's do it. So we got some storyboarding done and came up with some characters, and then we started kind of trying to sell the idea to publishing houses. We did some research, and we found out that my phone is just going off on its own. And we found out that a lot of times you get a publisher before your book is done, or sometimes before you even start writing your book. And so we started shopping the idea around, and we had chapters that were written, in entirety, and we got several responses. A lot of them didn't respond, but several of them did, and it was all kind of the same thing. Thank you so much for contacting us. You guys are beautiful writers. We love the story. Your writing just really paints a picture. We'll be happy to publish you when you write something with a straight character. And so variations of that kind of came, flooding in. And I even had one response tell me that they absolutely loved the book, they loved the premise, everything was perfect. Let's change Charlie to a female and we're all set. Which would have completely destroyed the book. So, needless to say, we weren't really going anywhere with that. So then we decided, okay, well, we're just going to do it ourselves. The internet exists. There's no reason that we can't figure this out. So we started researching how we could, how to publish a book, and how to put it on the proper platforms, and how to hire a cover artist to do the cover art, and how to format it, and how to copyright it, and how to assign it an ISBN, and all of these things that a lot of people don't realize is all kind of part of the process of making a book exist in a public-facing way. And so we knew it was completely trial by fire. Neither one of us had ever published anything that wasn't, a blog post or a magazine article. And so we decided, okay, we can only publish a book one time, and we weren't really willing to risk our, precious baby with a disappointing launch. So we decided, okay, these really short, smutty little books are becoming very, very popular on Amazon right now. I heard that from a friend, And so I said, let's just do that. I said, let's do something quick, something stupid. I mean, nobody's ever going to read it, so it doesn't matter. We just want to make sure we're not going to botch the real thing, like a sacrificial lamb, if you will. And so in about 4 hours, we sat down and we wrote a little short story about a guy that wakes up in bed naked next to a complete stranger with no recollection of the events the night before. And it's kind of about his kind of internal, freak out. Like he goes into the bathroom and he's, like, what the fuck? I don't remember any of this, kind of what's going on. And then, in entirety, it's, I think, 14 pages or something. And we got to the end and we realized we don't know the other guy's name. Like, we never even gave this dude a name. That's how little we cared about it, to be perfectly honest. And then, so Stephanie goes, fuck it. He doesn't need a name. We'll call it The Stranger, and then he doesn't get a name, and we don't have to come up with one. Perfect. Awesome. So that's what we did. So we named this stupid little 14-page, whatever it is, book, I guess. We named it The Stranger, and we hired a cover artist to make a cover for it, which was astronomically more expensive than we could have imagined. But we did it, and we put it out. And we decided to publish it in digital only. Obviously, I'm not going to print 14 pages, so it went out into the, interwebs, and we put a 99-cent price tag on it and sent it on its way. And we're like, okay, we did the thing. That's awesome. We published a book. Look, here it is. There's a link to it. We can buy it. Like, all right, we did it. So then we're like, okay, now we can get serious. So now we really start putting effort into the novel. And we're really fleshing out characters. We're fleshing out scenes. We're coming up with the overall art, the overarching plot lines and subplots and things like that. And then we decided, well, okay, why don't we do another little short, that was kind of fun, and let's do it again. So we wrote another little one that was completely different, about a whole different set of circumstances, and when I logged in to the back channel that I upload my manuscripts and cover art to for it to be published, I took a look at the reports. And The Stranger had sold thousands of copies. It was a #1 bestseller in LGBTQ shorts. It had a #1 best-selling banner on it. And all these reviews, just 100 of them. We need more. What's his name? What happens next? When's the sequel coming out? I can't stand it. What's happening next? And Stephanie and I are kind of looking at each other going, what did we do? And so we're like, okay, well, shit. I guess we have to write a Stranger too. And then we had to figure out, obviously what that looks like. And we came up with, different ideas. And, well, it makes the most sense that the Stranger was the bartender. The other guy got in trouble, and the bartender ended up saving him, and they went home together, and he was just drunk. Okay, that'll work. Or, that maybe he was some, nefarious thing. Maybe he was a stalker or something, and he's been trying to, get with him forever, and, he woke up and didn't remember anything. What if he was drugged? And, so all of these kind of things, and then, obviously we landed on the most logical was that he was a, secret spy working for a subsect of the United States government, carrying out these massive, anti-terrorist, operations, and just as absolutely ridiculous as we could be with it, and put it out, and son of a bitch, it went to #1 too. So now, at that point, we were kind of trapped, and so we wrote a couple other shorter things that were not Stranger related or in the Stranger universe, while we were continuing to work on that blasted novel. And it was about a year in the making from when we started. But in October of 2016, I believe, we did finally publish that novel, and that was To Never Walk Alone. And this book was such a departure for us because when we published The Stranger, we used pen names that we had come up with because we were writing adult content for these little shorts to give it a test run, but the novel that we really wanted to write was a young adult, so we definitely wanted some separation there. But now, Chance Christopher and Bella Liddell are 2-time best-selling romance authors all of a sudden. So then we put To Never Walk Alone out, and it is under our actual names. We did keep that separation there, but that was quite the journey. So once we got the novel out, unfortunately, it did not do very well, and it was very disappointing, heartbreaking even. But what did do well was those damn Stranger books. And so we got all the way up to Stranger 5, and life happens, and I went off to college, and I opened up a couple of businesses, and Stephanie is a mother to 3 beautiful kids, and a writer as well, on top of our little pet projects. And so we kind of had to put the pen down for a little bit, and then we moved across the country. Dan and I did, and came back to Pahrump, and obviously Stephanie stayed in Florida. And we kind of just went about our lives and, you know, kind of forgot about it all. And they continued to sell. The years would keep going, and the royalty checks just kept coming, as amazing as it was. And so one day, last year, I think it was May or June of last year, I get this email, and it is from a production assistant with a television studio. And the email says that they want to do an interview with me on television about To Never Walk Alone. Now, we're like 7 years removed, you know, from that book coming out, and I was like, I was toying with, like, at first not even doing it. I was going to have to, you know, take the day off work and all this other stuff, and it just seemed like a pain in the ass. But we ended up doing it, and what I didn't realize was the host of that show that had requested to do the interview was an Emmy Award-winning actor and broadcaster, and that I was going to be on television in front of 17 million people. Those details were lost on me in the beginning. And needless to say, that definitely, you know, brought a lot of new life into our books, and that book in particular. I'm so proud that it finally got its day, you know, after all of these years. But then a couple of weeks later, I get a phone call from Stephanie, and she's kind of him-hawing around a little bit, and she goes, in Stranger 5, we left Micah tied up in a basement on a cliffhanger, and that was 7 years ago. And I said, yeah. I said, we sure did. And then I went back and looked, and there were about 100 reviews on The Stranger 5 calling us assholes for doing that, and a lot of other colorful things. But so we decided, okay, well, if nothing else, we've got to finish The Stranger. We've got to tie up this loose end. So we wrote The Stranger 6, and it ended up being the longest of the entire series at, I think, 47 pages or something. And we put it out. And it was very, very well received after all of that time. And so we decided, you know what? Maybe it's time now. Maybe it's time to really give this thing a go. And so now we're 2,500, 2,500 miles apart across 3 time zones. But again, the internet exists. So we decided to get back on the horse and really make something of this. And so we decided to start having weekly Zoom meetings. And we got Stranger 6 out. And then we said, okay, I know you've got projects and I've got projects that are half finished, that are left in the dumpster. What do we got to work with here right on the bat? So we pulled all of our junk drawers open and our old documents and started going through things, and I picked something to finish up and she picked something to finish up, and we published them. And those were built in Colusa Springs, which was the second of a series that I had started years before. And she had skating by. And we both needed a lot of help. And that's what's so awesome about the two of us, is we work together so well that we pick apart each other's projects at every step of the way. She writes a chapter, I read it. I read a chapter, she reads it, while we're working on different projects. And so our DNA is completely wrapped up through every one of them. And we published those, and then we weren't sure really what we were going to do. And so, on New Year's Eve, we decided to start a publishing company because one of the projects that she had was a straight romance, which was skating by, and also a lesbian romance. And so we were like, okay, we want to do inclusive romance, so we want to write stories that everybody can see themselves in, but we need different names because that's just how that kind of world works. It's kind of a long story, but so we came up with Ember Larkin for our straight romances and Katie B. Pemberley for our female romances. And Katie B. Pemberley is a nod to one of the main characters from To Never Walk Alone. Her name is Mrs. Pemberley. But so that's what we decided to do. And then we made this insane goal for New Year's Eve, a resolution, I guess, that we were each going to write 5,000 words a week, every week. Whether it was good, bad, whether we jumped around, whether it was notes, whether it was anything, and we were going to check in every Monday night and hold each other accountable, and we were going to do it because we both had, productivity issues, to keep, say the least. And then I was like, okay, well, the average romance novel is 40,000 to 60,000 words. So if we're each writing 5,000 a week, we're going to each have a book done every other month. So then we took it a step further, because we're that crazy, and we're like, what if we just released a book every calendar month throughout 2024 and just see what happens? And then I was like, okay, that's really cool. We have our own publishing company now, so, we independently publish, we independently print, so we control pretty much everything. We can do that. I don't know why we decided to run our publishing company like a fucking newspaper, but here we are. And so there was one problem. And the problem was publishing a book every month meant we needed a new cover every month. And because we had grown up and put our, big boy and girl writing pants on, we were writing full-length novels. There wasn't Little Strangers anymore, So that meant double the cost, because not only did we need a digital cover, but we needed the entire wrapped print cover, too. Bro, I got $600 a month for a fucking cover every month, on top of advertising, on top of printing costs, on top of, everything else, on top of our software fees. We're pretty successful over here with these Little Strangers, but they're still only 99 cents a piece, okay? So we were like, well, if we're going to write a book every month, we're going to need to figure out how to make our own covers, aren't we? So that's the next thing we decided to do. So all through January, that's what we did. Every time we had a meeting, which is 3 times a week for 3 hours, is what our Zoom meetings are. One meeting is planning, one meeting is production, one meeting is word count check-in and marketing and running this whole business. So we spent all of January playing with different design softwares, watching YouTube videos, paying for tutorials, and we taught ourselves how to make our own covers. So now we were really free. So that's what we've done. All of 2024, we have each produced at least 5,000 words a week, usually more. Now keep in mind, I work 40 hours a week. I have a full-time job. I work for the coalition. And again, Stephanie works and is mom to 3 amazing kids, and that takes a lot of time between football and play practice and all the different things. So we managed to get it done, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, we've both missed once, different weeks for different reasons, but we made it up the next week, but damn am I proud of us. And it's a really, really amazing weekend to be doing this event because just on Friday, we released The Stranger 7, which was the conclusion of the Stranger series. It's done. And we also released our spin-off series that's full-length called Caleb the Camboy. He's a really fun character. He's Micah's best friend, who's the main character of The Stranger. He's his best friend, and we kind of fell in love with him over the years and decided he deserved his own story. So that one just came out on Friday as well. We double dropped them because they kind of went together. And yeah, it's kind of amazing what we've done. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna play a little bit of a short little video that I made for our 6-month check-in with this crazy goal that we did. And after that quick video, I've got a surprise for you guys. And then we will get rolling with some book signings, and we'll do a Q&A as well. So I'm just going to get that up real quick.
Immerses us in a story filled with love, spirituality, and supernatural elements while navigating complex issues like LGBTQ plus representation, the intersection of sexuality and religion, and the importance of authenticity.
We set a goal that we're going to write 5,000 words a week.
We are trying simultaneously for the gay romance world and lesbian.
I can tell you right now, it's probably going to be a fucking disaster.
Okay, so if a romance is 40 to 60, what do you call skating up?
A monstrosity.
What are you suggesting?
I don't know that I'm suggesting this.
And we have Jesus. Trouble for March.
I mean, what if nobody reads it? Slamming words down.
And that's what we're going to do, Chance. We are going to just keep pounding words and
Until the video's done.
we get stuff out of it.
And that would be state.
Hello.
Jesus. Trouble for March.
I mean, what if nobody reads it? Slamming words down.
And that's what we're going to do, Chance. We are going to just keep pounding words and until we get stuff out of it.
And that would be Staying By.
Oh, down low in Emberford.
From Katie Pemberley called
Sorry, guys.
The Summer of Satan.
Melody Blues and Strings on Ocean. Tomorrow.
Okay. Well, it just basically goes on to say the titles that we released through June, the end of June, and our final word count. And I believe that came in at 296,000 words. 149? anyway, so that's what we've done. And we just had Caleb come out. We've got High Notes and Hail Marys coming out for our September title. It is kind of like a pop star football kind of player romance. We're pretty big into Taylor Swift, so we kind of wanted to play on that a little bit. But what's really cool is our October title. And we have not shared this with anyone. You guys are going to be the first to see it and find out about it. But, you know, I've lived in Pahrump pretty much my entire life, minus the 7 or 8 years we were in Florida. So I'm real familiar with how it's grown and changed and kind of the quirkiness that we have here. And so I've always wanted to play on that a little bit. So for October, I don't have the exact release date for you at the moment, but it is our October title. So for our October title, I wanted to share with you guys the Grump from Pahrump. So it's a really fun book. I'm having a lot of fun writing it. I did put it in one of my favorite formats, which is first person split perspective. Is anybody familiar with that? Yeah. So every chapter, so chapter 1 is this character, and then chapter 2 is this character, and then chapter 3 goes back to the other character. Is kind of how that goes. And with this book, I wanted to be kind of silly, I wanted to be ornery, I wanted to be, you know, kind of all that is, you know, Pahrump. We're kind of a breed on our own here. So it's about a kid who is, you know, kind of born and raised in Portland, Oregon. He's very kind of hippie, kind of spoiled, you know, the kind of kid you want to smack, you know? And he comes down to visit his grandma, who lives in Pahrump, for Thanksgiving, and gets himself a DUI because he crashes into Seymour's after leaving the bar. So the book opens with him flying back down to Nevada to go to court for that DUI. And so that's kind of what it's about. I'm going to read a little bit of it for you. And I don't have it available yet. Like I said, I still have to write it, guys. But you can pre-order it for me today. That is one of the things on these cards. If you wanted to pre-order, we'll make sure we'll capture your address, and I will sign them when they come out in October, and I will mail them out to you. Did everybody get one of these? Awesome. So that's another thing. I am so appreciative. Me and Stephanie both are of you guys coming out and supporting us today. This is the first stop on the A Knight's Day press tour. So, yeah, so next week we're in San Jose, and beginning of October we're in Las Vegas, the end of October we're in Phoenix, and I think if we can swing it in January, we're going to go to Aspen. So that's the plan for next year, is to tour all these books that we wrote this year. Most authors tour one book. I guess we're overachievers. Which makes it a real pain in the ass for inventory, let me tell you. But we're really looking forward to that. So, for coming here today, I hope you all put your email addresses on this card, because you're all going to receive one of our audiobooks for free. And the way that will work is once we can wind down a little bit from the event and get everybody's information into the computer, we will be emailing you out an audiobook code for Audible and instructions on how to use it. It's completely free. You don't have to sign up for anything. There's no trials. You don't have to do none of that. You'll just, you may have to sign up for a regular Amazon account, but you just download the Audible app and then put in the code, and it'll download that book for you. We've got a couple that we're sending out. I haven't even, Stephanie is handling all of that, so I'm not sure which ones they are. They are kind of chosen at random, but they will be full length. And again, thank you guys so much for coming out. I'm going to read this little bit for you, and then let's sign some books.
And Chance, by the way, you're not an overachiever. You're a Scorpio.
It's true. Okay, so this is right in the beginning. This is pretty much chapter 1. They are very quick. Like I said, the format, because they switch perspectives so often. But he's just gotten off the plane, and he is waiting to be picked up at passenger pickup. And this is Arlo. This is our little drunk driving bandit here. I pulled my phone out of my back pocket when it started to buzz. Hello? Is this Ari? Asked a raspy voice I was unfamiliar with. My name is Arlo, I replied, rolling my eyes. This had to be my ride. Only Nani and her people called me Ari. Oh, my apologies. I must have the wrong phone number. No, but it was too late. He'd hung up the phone. Shit. I looked at the phone screen again to call the number back as my phone rang again. Hi, yeah. Hi, is this Ari? Yes. Irritation laced my voice. I just wanted to get this whole thing over with and pretend it never happened. Genevieve sent me to come pick you up. I'm her neighbor. So she wasn't with him. Great. Yeah, she mentioned that. Have you gotten out of the airport yet? Yes, I'm at passenger pickup. Okay. I heard a squealing sound, and then what sounded like a jet engine on the other end of the phone. What do you look like? I barely heard him over the noise the truck was making. Jesus, was he coming to get me in a helicopter? I'm 5'8", light brown hair. I heard a gruff chuckle. Why don't you look around and make sure there are no other people waiting that are about 5'8" with brown hair, bro? Why don't we start with what you're wearing? I'm wearing a t-shirt and jeans. Are you fucking slow? His change in tone was sudden and unexpected. Pardon me? You know I'm trying to find you in a crowd of people and I've never seen you before. Do you want this shit to take 4 hours or are you going to cooperate a little bit? I scoffed. No, I'm not slow. I'm just bad with descriptions and I'm not great with strangers. Sorry for living. I heard him huff out a breath. Okay, I'm in a big red truck. It's old and loud. It's got a dent in the front bumper on the right side. I'm going to drive through passenger pickup loading area. When you see a big, loud, red truck with a dent in the bumper, start waving. How about that? Fine, I'm standing right on the curb. Great, awesome. I hung up and craned my head to the side to look past a large group of people cramming themselves into an SUV next to me. No red truck. I watched car after car pull up to the curb and then leave once people had piled into them. My phone buzzed again. Hello? Okay, so I've driven the loop through passenger pickup twice now, and no 5'6" guy with light brown hair has flagged me down. I'm going back around again. Where are you, dude? Well, first of all, I told you I was 5'8". Really? And you haven't seen a big red truck drive by? No. Okay. I'm gonna need you to ask somebody where the fuck you are. I looked around. There was a man dressed in a uniform pushing an older woman in a wheelchair towards a taxi waiting at the curb. Excuse me, this is passenger pickup, right? The man nodded as he locked the wheels on the woman's chair and she began to collect the things in her lap. See, like I said, I'm at passenger pickup. Ask him what terminal. Sir? Yeah, sorry. What terminal is this? Terminal 2. Terminal 2. I repeated into the phone. What? Didn't you fly in on American? Yeah. How the fuck did you get to Terminal 2 then? I don't know. I just followed the signs. I snapped. Well, I have to get out of here and go back around to the other terminal. I'll be right there. Please don't move. I haven't moved this whole time. I already loathed this man, and I was not looking forward to spending the next 2 hours trapped in the car with him. He had already accused me of being stupid, and he was awfully rude. I pulled the phone away from my ear and hung it up. A few seconds later, it buzzed again. Yes? For fuck's sake, I heard him mutter under his breath. Why would you hang up? I'm still trying to find you. Don't you think it might be easier to accomplish if we stayed on the phone? I guess. But I'm not going to stay on the phone if you keep cursing at me. What are you, 2 years old? No, I just have enough self-respect not to allow some hillbilly to talk to me like that. Look, princess, I'm going to spend exactly 45 more seconds dealing with this. It's 115 degrees and my truck is overheating. I'm about to come through Terminal 2. If you don't make it into my truck on this pass, I'm going to go back home and you can figure this shit out with someone else. I'm done. Fine. I pulled the phone away from my ear and then nearly jumped out of my skin as a massive horn blared in front of me, making me jump. And you were trying to hang up the phone again, the man said, throwing his hands up in frustration around the steering wheel. I narrowed my eyes and stared daggers at him through the open passenger side window. You're here. Why would I need to still be on the phone with you? But you didn't know that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have scared the shit out of you when I honked. He brought his hands up to pinch the bridge of his nose. The truck looked like it had come out of a junkyard, and from what I could see, it suited him to a T. He was wearing a white wife beater that had black smears all over it. His hands were filthy, caked in black grime, and I was surprised he didn't turn the bridge of his nose black when he touched it. There was a honk from a car waiting behind the truck as it stopped in the travel lane. As if it were a compulsory action, his hand went out the window, middle finger raised high as the irritated driver passed by. Please just get into the truck before I have to fight somebody. A real comforting invitation. Again, thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. Hopefully there's going to be lots more events to come. Our schedule is filling up quick, but I'm so excited to have been able to launch this here with you and in my hometown, and share this new book with you and get to connect with you guys tonight like I have. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Shan. Let's give them another round.